What happens if we miss someone who captures 100% of our mental capacity? 100%, even more than they could imagine. We know more about distant universe regions than our brains. Ever wonder how the brain works? What distinguishes a genius's intellect from an ordinary person's? Can someone harness extraordinary abilities through brain power? That's what we'll explore today. The true power of the brain. We begin in Seattle, Washington, USA. Researchers at the University of Washington's Institute for Learning and Brain Sciences revealed that newborns can learn any language globally. You've had a superpower since birth. Studies show infants possess astonishing intelligence, learning and remembering tiny actions. About 800 communication sounds exist worldwide, yet adults use only 40. Newborns can distinguish all 800. Children perceive even without understanding. Notice these sounds. When babies practice speech, they're not babbling aimlessly. Listen carefully, and you'll hear them repeating specific sounds, like words. They hear daily sounds, repeating until they perfect that magical sound. A newborn's brain is the world's most complex sponge, absorbing everything, then filtering as it matures. Proportionally, a newborn's brain is larger than an adult's, weighing 370 to 390 grams, 12 to 13% of body weight versus 1,400 grams, 2.3 to 2.8% for adults. A supercomputer resides in our heads, shaped by millions of years of evolution, thousands of recorded history, and centuries of research. Do we fully understand this matter inside us? Harshly, no. Two great mysteries exist: the universe's origin and your consciousness when you look in the mirror. Why are you conscious? Where does it come from? How does it work? Can it be lost? The brain is the universe's most complex object. Every second, it remembers, stores, and retrieves information. Daily actions: breathing, sipping coffee, napping impact it. The best example of brain function is an incident from 1848. A man lost over half his brain and miraculously survived. In 1848, he led workers building a railway near Cavendish, Vermont, placing explosives in holes, tamping them with an iron rod to blast rocks. On September 13th, he distractedly drove the rod into rock, sparking an explosion. The iron rod pierced his left cheek, palate, brain, and exited his head. You'd think he couldn't survive such horror. Yet, minutes later, a miracle, he regained consciousness, speaking. He was taken to rest, awaiting a doctor. 30 minutes post-accident, Dr. Edward Williams arrived, stunned. The man sat upright, talking, a 1 meter, 3 centimeter thick, 6 kilogram rod, bloodied, lodged in his head. It penetrated his skull, passed through the left frontal lobe, destroyed much of his brain, and dislodged his eyeball. Such an injury should have killed instantly, yet he remained calm, alert, chatting as if unscathed. His brain was severely damaged, but he survived, living 12 more years relatively normally with savings. Despite the devastation, how did his brain compensate for such loss? This question is key to understanding the brain's wonders. The brain is a learning machine, replaying experiences. The you now differs from seconds ago, shaped by new sensations or knowledge. Thus, we'll never fully grasp the brain. It's ever-changing. It's too complex for complete exploration, but studying exceptional brains offers insights. What makes someone intellectually, emotionally, or wisely outstanding? What defines a genius? Does their brain hold secrets? At UC Davis, June 2018, Tanis Abraham earned his bachelor's degree at 15. At 4, his extraordinary potential was clear. An IQ test at 14 showed he answered 99.99% correctly, joining Mensa as its youngest member. Only genius describes Tanis. What fuels his intellect versus ordinary minds? Is his brain unique? Studying it would breach ethics and rights. Yet, genius isn't hereditary like eye color or heightiness is. Parents are ordinary. Many geniuses hail from average families with unremarkable parental IQs. We can't pinpoint why geniuses emerge. Is their brain development distinct? Not innate or inherited, it's shaped by some factor. Uncovering this could unlock genius potential for many, tapping deeper brain capabilities. Could genius lie within us all, hidden deep? Proof comes from a man not born a genius, but becoming one near 40. Derek Amato, a US musician and pianist, is famed for his compositions and performances. Born November 19, 1966, in Colorado, he was an average student, unremarkable. As an adult, he worked various jobs, living ordinarily until a fateful day. In October 2006, visiting his mother in Sioux Falls, he joined a pool party. During a ball-catching game, he hit his head on the pool's bottom, suffering a severe concussion. Friends pulled him out, semi-conscious. His mother rushed him to the ER, where doctors diagnosed traumatic brain injury, 35% left-ear hearing loss, and memory issues, a major injury requiring long recovery. Yet, strangely, Amato recovered quickly. Early, normal, amazed, doctors sent him home. To cope, he visited a friend's house, where a piano stood. That moment birthed a genius. Seeing it, he felt destined to play. Sitting, he played proficiently, passionately, until 2 a.m., closing his eyes. He saw black and white structures moving, representing a continuous flow of musical symbols in his mind. Though he'd played guitar, his musical skills were average, and he'd never touched a piano. Now, a renowned pianist, he performs at major concerts, mastering 8 instruments. His soulful melodies spark wonder. Where did this ability come from? Overnight, without lessons, a musical prodigy emerged. The secret, savant syndrome or genius syndrome. After brain injuries, ordinary people gain extraordinary unaware skills. Amato's fall likely weakened his left brain, boosting the right, linked to creativity, unlocking his potential. His skills show that even non-geniuses harbor untapped brain power. How do we unlock this genius at will? Imagine the human development breakthrough. One day, we could choose to become Einstein, Mozart, or Picasso. Crazy but fascinating. Genius comes at a cost, though how much, we don't know. To gain a savant's mind briefly, no one should need a pool accident to awaken genius. Worse, what if a criminal, like a serial killer, wields this genius? Notorious criminals, underworld geniuses, exist in droves. At Florida State Prison, January 21st, 1989, days before execution, Ted Bundy confessed to killing at least 30 people, ending a decade-long crime spree. His death sentence closed a horrific chapter. He epitomizes a psychopathic maniac. Aught cruel, cunning, or ugly, but handsome, charming, kind. An ideal normal person, except for his abnormal psyche. A bloodthirsty predator lurked within. How did a polished man become a cold-blooded killer? Did upbringing alter him, or was he born evil? Studies on psychopathic brains reveal common defects. Dr. Adrian Rain at USC used PET scans to study murderers' brain functions and MRI for structure, comparing 41 murderers to 41 controls. He found lower prefrontal cortex activity in murderers, the area above the eyes, behind the forehead. This region governs empathy, conscience, and morality. Humanities break against wild impulses. Poor function here impairs emotion control, raising ethical questions. Should we fix psychopathic brains to normalize them? What if a newborn shows a killer's brain defects? How do we raise them? Bundy's brain flaws, plus an unhealthy environment, birthed a monster. Born without knowing his father, his birth certificate named Lloyd Marshall, a salesman, but other records listed his father as unknown. For 3 years, he lived with his grandparents in Philadelphia, who raised him as their own to avoid stigma, as he was born out of wedlock. In 1987, Bundy revealed his grandfather, Samuel Cowell, was abusive, bigoted, violent to his wife, dog, and even neighborhood cats, planting violence in Bundy's young mind. This suggests psychopathic killers aren't solely born from brain defects, but shaped by environment. A child with prefrontal cortex issues can thrive if well raised. Does environment fully explain such cold-bloodedness? Is there an undiscovered driver of horrific acts, perhaps intangible, beyond the brain's physical parts? In May 2006, radio host Stephen B. Williams vanished mysteriously. 2 weeks of massive police searches yielded no clues. At a dead end, Williams's friend sought Angela Thompson Smith, a remote viewer or clairvoyant. Using her gift, Smith sought clues, seeing vast water like an ocean, suggesting Williams died by water. Her insights led Los Angeles police to an unidentified body on Catalina Island. Williams. Smith also provided details about his killer, compiling an investigation file on Williams's contacts and financial disputes. The murderer was caught thanks to Smith's clairvoyance. Remote viewing, documented in ancient texts, is like leaving your body to observe distant places, even across the globe. It sounds illogical, but during the Cold War, Soviets invested millions researching it, prompting the US to launch Project Stargate, a secret psychic spy unit. Stargate trained 20 psychics who, in dark rooms, entered meditative states to describe distant images. In 1976, they located a downed Soviet plane in an African jungle after satellite failures. In 1979, they described a Soviet naval weapon resembling a shark, later confirmed as the Akula submarine. Stargate's successes led to a $20 million US investment, but skepticism grew. Resource declines, and the Watergate scandal ended it in 1995. Remote viewing works powerfully, but how remains elusive. Modern espionage uses tech like satellites, but clairvoyants say the brain outstrips these. They enter quiet mental spaces to hone this skill, suggesting it's innate like intuition. Training could unlock it widely, but can the brain store and retrieve vast information from seeing everything? In Boston, March 2018, Nectome, a biotech startup, proposed uploading brain data to computers, preserving minds. If aging can't be stopped, why keep a failing body? Upload thoughts, emotions, and memories to a computer, creating a virtual paradise like Black Mirror, with the brain in an avatar. This involves whole brain emulation, WBE, spanning brain scanning, computational power, and virtual reality. Scanning faces, the Connectome Challenger, full brain map of 86 billion neurons and their 10 bozo connections each. Only the 300-neuron brain of Canahabditis elegans has been mapped. Current scans like MRI or MEG lack power. Detailed methods harm brains. Promising tech uses electrodes with thousands of recording points, but it's invasive, requiring surgery, and far from mapping 86 billion neurons. The Connectome bottleneck persists. Even if scanned, a brain's memories and thoughts could generate a zettabyte. Why a byte sieve data, or a trillion gigabytes? Current tech processes single neurons in real time, sorting zettabytes manually. Advanced machine learning and data mining are needed. Computing power and storage have grown exponentially, and soon, processing needs may be met. But uploading your brain raises a question. Is it still you? Creating a brain copy means to exist simultaneously. If your real brain dies and your body is cremated, does the uploaded mind remain you, or is it a new version? Unlocking brain potential could leapfrog millions of years of evolution, but it risks terrifying consequences. Are our brains held back? Would you unlock your hidden potential for a higher society? If you've watched this, your brain's power is remarkable. This concludes the video. See you next time.